Alright, so I wanted to show you a few things. This is under your deck or in your Three Seasons room upstairs. So there's about a few things I'd like to actually cover. First, we have this ledger board here, and there's nothing really wrong with the ledger board, and this has probably been here for years. But to standard codes, we do have some screws put into the ledger board to secure it to the home, and that's all fine and dandy, and they don't look bad at all. But they're not hot dipped galvanized, and there's markings on the outside to indicate they're only 4-inch screws, so they're not adequate enough to actually support it. But it's supporting. So I'm not really flagging that all too much, but it is standard practice that your ledger board up here has no flashing. And if you look up on top, right up in here towards the edges, it's starting to rot just a little bit. And it's not too bad, and it's probably been here for years, and it probably has another 20 years to it. So it is good wood. It's green treated. But another thing that causes attention for me is that you got the dryer vent right underneath this deck here, which will create higher than normal moisture down in underneath your deck. Again, it's probably been there for years. Probably been here since the deck was built, and I really don't see a whole lot of damage in the area because of it. But I did want to bring that up to your attention. And then the other thing too is that your sub pump is right here, and your radon's right there, and they're all hooked up together. And there you have it looks like tape, electrical tape of some sort, and it's obviously leaking because it went off and it is dripping a little bit. So I would recommend putting some clamps around this hose and clamp this off. But it's not a serious issue as of right now, because it's probably been there for a long time, and it should probably be fixed. If there is a leak, fix it. So the span of the deck appears to be at least 14 feet. I didn't bring my tape measure. That's all fine, but I also noticed that we have a center post here, right? And then you have the board going across. Normal practice of what I've seen so far is that they usually double these up, and we only have one supporting, and it looks like a 2x8 up here. There's only one supporting it, and like I said, it's not bad. It's actually, I've been up in here and I walked it. It feels very sturdy, but it would probably be a little bit better if there was two being wrapped going across. And then we only have one right here. I mean, they're doubled up right here, and the back they have a supporting one, but in the center we only have one. And I can only assume that this middle one here was installed after the deck was built. That's the only thing that makes sense, and it's probably it looks like it was done by DIY. Because the bolts right up here are secured, but they're not tight, and there's no washers to them. So a contractor would most likely put washers, and they're spaced way too close too. One here, one here. It should be one here and one down here with washers, but nonetheless, that's where we're at. But the overall view of the deck, it's pitched at 2 degrees towards the backyard, and that's good. But overall, good deck.